Hello, everybody. Welcome to another CNC Mixer. It's Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We do this every week inside of the CNC Router Tips group. So far, we've got Mike and Tally with us today. How's it going, guys?
Oh,
Hi,
hey,
Tally.
hey, how you doing, Mike?
Good. How are you?
Fine.
Good. Yeah, Mike, what are you up to? Anything good?
I was just I just came back in from the shop. I got a couple of pieces of a redwood burl from my New York wood guy who's I think just not too far south of you in Horseheads.
Mm-hmm.
The one piece I took the bark off the edge and I sanded it down today, and it's just so pretty. I'm just going to use it as a display piece. So I just got through shooting a coat of lacquer on it. It is absolutely the most gorgeous piece of wood I've ever seen. I got a picture on my phone. I'm not sure how I can get it so you guys can see it, but
Send it as a direct message to Facebook, and I'll grab it from there and display it.
maybe
Screen
let's see
share.
if I can do. Let me see if I can do that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can probably do that. Let's see, Bill.
Hey, Kurt, what's up? He's not unmuted yet, but
I just sent it to you, Bill.
all right, let me see if I can get that photo and screen share it.
Hi, Kurt.
Okay, here we go. Share.
I think you're muted, Kurt. Oh,
Oh my goodness. That is a beautiful piece of burl.
isn't that
Oh,
cool?
nice.
Wow.
It's redwood.
Yeah, and this is probably the small piece from a
Yeah.
redwood tree.
Yeah, I don't know how big the whole burrow was. I had him actually send me another piece, which I got today, that's about 3 inches thick that I want to try to, and the edge, it's kind of the same, but it's a little, the edge is not quite as angled. I don't know, I want to try to do something different with that, but I don't know what.
Hmm.
Wow. Just wow.
Yeah, it's like I said, I've never seen anything like it. So I'm gonna try to, I think I want to build a stand out of some kind of metal, maybe have it powder coated and just use that as a display piece because I can't see ever touching it, doing anything else to it.
That's pretty.
Uh, it'd be like a corner table almost because of the the
Yeah,
right angle at the bottom.
yeah.
Wow.
But I'd be afraid because that edge of which I have no idea. It was funny because when I got it, it had all the bark on it, and he it kind of got beat up in the post office or UPS, however the hell it came. And then I was playing with it, and I'm like, oh, this comes right off. And when I started taking the bark off, I'm like, oh my God, this is absolutely, absolutely just gorgeous.
Hmm.
Sweet. All right. Well,
That's what I've been up to today so far.
yeah, you should post a picture of
I'm
this in the
coming
group.
in. I'm coming in late. What's this we're looking at? This hunk of wood?
That's it's a piece of a redwood burl
Okay,
that I
nice.
just sanded it and just put some lacquer on it because it was too pretty to do anything else with.
Cool.
I just see some very expensive pens
Yeah,
lots of them, but
yeah,
yeah, that would be such a waste though.
yeah. I don't think I could do that.
Yeah. Huh.
Besides the fact that I don't make pens anyway, so I guess I'm not going to be doing that. But I don't think I just couldn't do anything with that right now. I just gonna leave it. Like I said, I'm gonna make design some kind of a metal stand, and I'm gonna go to a guy I know that makes wrought iron railings and have him weld up something and powder coat it, and so
Yeah.
it'll stand up, so it'll stand like that.
The pitch wood
I-
reminds me of like flames.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I need a banana for scale. How big is that?
It's about 16 inches tall and 20 inches across.
Okay.
I think that's a sander on that it's sitting on.
Yeah, that's a 1632 sander.
Okay.
All right. There, that might
Anyway,
help with the scale.
yeah.
Yeah, it's large. All right.
Well, I'm guessing that piece of hose is 6 inches, so that gives me an idea.
Mhm.
That the piece, no, the hose is 4 inches actually. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. All right. Yeah, you should post a picture of that. It's just for the
I
sheer
will.
beauty of it.
I'll put that picture in the group. I can
Is
do
that
that. I can
is
do
that
that
a
easy. It's on my phone.
a big bandsaw next to it as well?
Yeah, it's a Harvey Alpha 14, C14 or whatever it is. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that thing that bandsaw eats everything.
Well, that
Alright.
other bandsaw is sitting right behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that other one. So, yeah, the other one I haven't had too long. I picked it up off a marketplace, and it's that old Delta, and it's the one that's got the transmission in it with the 2 speeds. And so I took that all apart and do that. So if I'm making bandsaw boxes, which I do once in a while, I use that old Delta one it's got a 1/8 blade on it, and I use that to do the cutouts. It works really great for that. It's got I put all the Carter stabilizer and all that stuff on it.
Mm-hmm. All
Like
right.
what it says, you just keep buying more stuff. I'm like, yep.
Mm-hmm. But you have a beautiful shop layout, it looks like. So,
It's getting there. I've only been in it for a year, and I keep moving stuff around, and I had a decent shop about 4 or 5 years ago, and then we decided to downsize, and I sold everything. And needless to say, that didn't work out so well. So but the good part is I got mostly all new stuff now. But yeah, and now I have, instead of being in the basement, now I have a outside building with windows and sunlight and all that good stuff in it. So
mhm. All right. I'm gonna stop the share.
yeah.
Okay. Man, that was neat. That was very neat. Uh, Welcome everyone. Yeah, I spent most of today um, doing some design work in Fusion 360. Um, a friend of mine asked me to help him make some beehives. And so kind of doing like a little flat pack kind of thing so that it doesn't go crazy when we ship it, you know. It's kind of neat, and the bees will be out soon anyway, most parts of the country. So,
Like you making them where they stack on top of each other? Yeah.
yeah, and this particular hive, it's a for the actual guy who designed the hive originally, but it keeps the hive cool in hot times.
Okay.
And it's supposed to, there's a bunch of features on it. It's pretty cool, but the difficulty he has is if he makes a hive, he can't ship it across country because it costs a fortune. So
All right.
kind of IKEA in it for him. If that's a thing, it's like making it a verb. I IKEA'd it. Uh, but there's some things that IKEA does that I don't like. And so I come up with different ways to make things, impossible to, well, highly unlikely to be able to assemble wrong. You know, that's all. So,
Well, I had today was since I wasn't out on the crane, I went out and shop early this morning and started working on my table, redoing my table. So this time I decided to go ahead and put inserts into the table and utilize my T-slots to fasten down my spoil board. So I spent a lot of time today doing that, preparing that, and drilling into the table and putting the inserts with nylon screws and some of the, what did I use? Quarter 20s. I think I used quarter 20 inserts with nylon screws. And for the T slots, I used M6 with countersink screws. So tomorrow morning, well, I got to work tomorrow, but when I come home, I surface it and then flip it over and surface the other side and get it prepared so I can do some more cutting. I got a lot of cutting to do. So that's what I've been doing all day.
that's very cool. I'm answering a text inside of the group. Somebody sent, made a comment, and I'm just answering them. So carry on.
Yeah. And been trying to figure out working with the so I've been doing some work with the Centroid controller. I'm getting ready for the ATC to come. So I also configured for the spindle to spin counterclockwise. So I did that today also. Tinker around with that and see it's what was the lowest speed I can get it to. It ended up being like 630 RPMs.
Did you have a torque?
You know what? I don't know. I didn't grab it. It hasn't came in yet, so I'm waiting. I'm waiting for it to come in. I think it will be here tomorrow, according to tracking. But I know my machine didn't come. It didn't come wired to go in counterclockwise. So I decided I was like, okay, let me go out here and figure this out and get it to run. And it did. It was easy. I just had to put one wire on the S2 and the VFD and the other end of that wire to a relay, which was like the number 5 input on my relay on the Centroid. And go into the wizard and just tell it use what is it, output number 5 as spindle reverse, and that was it. And then
Yeah.
it worked. So,
Yeah. I think the good part about the Centroid Acorn is that they use the same software as the all-in-one system that they've had for 20 years. So it's mature software. There's features in there that you probably would never think to use, but they're there.
all right.
And you're able to do things like that.
So I was wondering, could you rigid tap with that now? I mean, since you're able to spin this, put the spindle in reverse.
You need to know the position of so you'd have to have an encoder.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If your spindle has an encoder, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Because what I don't know.
So like on a milling machine, when you're doing rigid tapping, the spindle has to not only be able to do forward and reverse, but it has to be able to stop at a specific position
Oh, okay. Okay.
so that the next time it goes down into the hole, it's, the tap's going to go from the same part. It's not going to cross thread it as it's going in.
Right. Well, I definitely don't think it has any code on it. Like I've never seen, I don't even think they would offer those on CNC routers.
Hmm.
Uh,
Well, the Acorn's got an encoder
Yep, it does.
socket.
It has the feature.
Hmm. Anybody?
Not in my wheelhouse.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I know you can buy a rotary encoder, and you'd be able to, if you were able to access the end of the shaft, you could put the sensor on the shaft, and the rotary encoder snaps over that, and it reads um, depends on whether it's magnetic or optical, but it would read that to give you a position. But don't know.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting to find out. I mean, not that I need it. I just thought about it. I was like, I guess that's why they never even hooked it up to spin in reverse. It was no need for it.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned a tool changer
Mhm.
that you're going to need to go forward and reverse for. How many RPMs does that have to happen at?
So they was so Don said with the ER, if you did like the ER20, the ER20, ER25, you know, what's the other one? ER11.
There's
They
a 16, I know,
Oh, okay.
and
They
there's
can do
probably an
that.
11. I think
They
there's
can
a
do it at
32.
1,000. They can do it at 1,000 RPM. But by mine's being big, maybe around between 6 and 8. Because I'm going, I have a larger horsepower, six horsepower. So we're talking about maybe between 6 and 8 RPM should be enough to give it enough torque uh, to tighten the collet. So I would have to play with it to actually see, especially with the ER32. I have to play with it and actually see exactly what it'll do. It was going to be it'd be some trial and errors. But the whole experience with CNC is trial and error. So I mean, yeah, I mean, it took me 5 years to be confident enough to tap my table. I was like, I don't really want to drill into my table, but it was fairly easy. I was I was afraid that I was going to destroy it or something go wrong, and then my inserts were wrong or something like that. But it went easy. Just measure it off and drilled into it. Took my time, just drilled into it, and it worked. It worked fine. So yeah, I'm excited about this ATC. That's going to be nice and see how it works. And it's going to be I want to say it's a 12. It's going to be a 12 tool, right? Yeah.
Yeah. You should share screens and show people a picture of that thing. I'll turn on share screen.
Okay. Let's see here.
So speaking of tool changes, last week I discovered that Fusion 360 no longer allows tool changing on the free version.
Yeah.
You have to have one of the paid versions
Right.
to enable tool changes. But something I did discover is someone wrote a kind of software macro that will allow you you set up all the different tools, and then this macro will grab the all the setups from your CAM routine and incorporate them into a single routine.
Mm-hmm.
Is the let's see, can you see it? Is the screen sharing?
Oh, yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So this is let me see. This is one of the examples. So it will work with whatever existing spindle you have, so you don't have to upgrade your spindle to an ATT spindle. And it just work by threading the collet.
Yeah, I wish they had showed me the process that it goes through, but
Let me see if
I understand they probably want to. Yeah. So it essentially drops the tool down into the holder and reverses so that the collet unlocks and it leaves the tool there,
yeah, correct.
and then moves over to the next one and
Yes.
goes and drives down or goes forward so that it tightens the collet on the next tool, and then it measures it and off you go.
Right.
Okay.
So what he had what Don had explained to me was that, you know, we started looking at like the torque, you know, the torque spec of the collet, which was crazy because I've never really known, you know, like the torque spec. And then I happened to run across like Haas videos, and they was talking about the torque spec of what you're supposed to torque your collet. But then, you know, I realized that when I put my collet on, I kind of, it's like snug. I don't really get down on it, but I kind of snug it. So I know that it's not going to slip or anything like that, or when it's cut. And then when Don mentioned about this, doing his testing, then he realized that it actually didn't need to be that tight. And that's how he came up with the RPM, the range of the RPMs of what is required to keep the collet firm enough to hold the bit in, and then to be able to loosen it. So that's where the variation of the RPMs come in. So with a heavier spindle, you may not need to use a higher RPM to tighten because of the torque of the spindle. So, so I'm going to be, once, you know, like my spindle is 6 horsepower ER32. So I'll be actually testing to see, you know, what is actually required to keep the collet on, and then to loosen it, and then having a fourth axis also with my machine. It'll be interesting to see exactly what it's going to do. And then it also has a infrared sensor on it, so it breaks that beam and to make sure that the spindle is aligned and the collet is aligned with the actual changing. And if it fails, it'll go into a mode of faulty, and it'll retry again. But if it fails, I'm thinking maybe like 2 or 3 times, it'll just cancel. It'll cancel itself out and stop.
How did they address the idea of cross-threading?
Well, in the videos, when it's really like it's really hard to cross thread um your spindle. I mean, you have to, unless you're totally out of tram. I mean, but he has tested.
Okay.
Yeah, he has tested because if you go down, if you probably set an empty collet down, on your table, if it was a way to actually hold it, it will probably thread without cross thread, unless your table is not level or you're out of tram.
So as long as you're trammed in, it's probably going to be okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Because even hand tighten, like it's I've never ran across anybody that actually hand tightened and cross threaded their collets. I mean, it's very few, but most of the time, if you put it on there, it'll pretty much thread.
I
Just
would wonder. I wonder if the tapers of both the the spindle itself and the holder help align it, um, to the nut, um, because there's a ring or not a ring, but a slot around the edge of the collet
right, right,
that snaps into the nut.
right. Like
You
the
know,
the, the spring. It's the
yeah,
right.
yeah. So I'm wondering if that helps, but
I
who
would
knows?
know. Tomorrow, what I would do, I'm gonna take some once it come in, because right now I don't even know how big it's gonna be. Because like I said, I bought a 12 tool.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how large it's gonna be. But I would take some photos
Hmm.
once I get it in and start experimenting, started
Yeah.
getting it hooked up.
These prices aren't bad either. When
No,
you consider that you don't have to buy a new spindle.
right,
Uh, at worst, you have to rewire it so it runs forward and reverse.
right. And that was the big thing, buying an ATC spindle gun. Well, in my case, it would cost me between 3 and 5 thousand for my size. And then either you build a tool rack or buy a tool rack. You know,
Mhm.
at that you probably between $300 to $800 on top of that.
Yeah.
And you have to, you know, plumb it for air, in your hardware, etc. So you can easily get up to probably about, I think I estimated it's gonna cost me like about $5,000
Hmm.
for me to convert mine to a linear ATC. Yeah. And then once I saw this, I was like, hold up, let me let me rethink this. This may be something to try. Uh,
Hmm. What size collets are you using?
ER32.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Um, Rapid Change ATC is the name of the company.
Hmm. Yeah, they out of Michigan.
Hmm.
So I know it's a couple of people out. It's a couple of people already out there that actually have them that they're using.
Hmm.
So but they're on smaller machines.
True.
And I know they're going to be trying to outfit them for majority of the machines that's capable with different controllers from Centroid, Planet CNC. I want to say
Hmm.
UN CNC, Mark III. What else? Um, it will have to be computer driven
Yeah.
type controllers. Yeah. I think he may try to. he may try to do something with Win CNC. So it's an option. I mean,
Mhm.
something to look at. Yeah.
Yeah, if I were doing any upgrades to my machine, it would be to go to a spindle from the old Craftsman router that's on there.
Oh, okay.
Um, I've had other machines that had spindles on them. I just never put one on my router table. Um, I always wished also that there was a low speed um, spindle available. And all of them are high speed. They're doing 20,000 RPM or whatever or more. And I always wish there was one that was low speed, high torque that you could get. Then it would make machining aluminum and brass and things like that
Oh,
much easier. You could use traditional 3 flute bits and things like that. But I've never found one online looking. So
so what does the speeds need to be? What the range does it need to be in?
probably the top end should be about 10,000. And then it should go down to maybe 500.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um, I mean, you could go a little higher than that, but um, one of the reasons that it's difficult to take big hogging cuts of aluminum on a router table, other than, let's assume that it's a big, sturdy router. Uh, Alexa, stop. Uh, one of the problems is that the bits are spinning too fast, so the chips don't have time to evacuate.
Okay.
So you end up using smaller bits and things like that are, lower flute count and things like that. But aluminum on like a milling machine, a 3 flute bit is probably about the best combination for aluminum. But your RPMs are between 5 and 10,000 usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's maxed out at 18. Mine's maxed out at 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I I think I run mine the most around 13 to 16 on most of all my projects. That's what I usually run.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
Mm, Kurt,
And
how's the? Go ahead. Yeah, I
uh,
thought you were done.
oh, and so I did upgrade my 3D printer. I get I got frustrated with my Creality. The I I I just got frustrated with it. I've been trying to, you know, pull off prints and they wasn't successful. Um, I couldn't come to a conclusion whether the Z axis kept build layers, but it would never just raise up above the layer. It just kind of stayed down in it. And I've tried everything that I could from tweaking it and watching videos. So I ended up buying the Bamboo Lab A1 Mini. So I
Hmm.
got the small one to even see if I'm gonna like 3D printing. So I'm waiting for that to come in as well.
That's the smaller brother of the carbon.
Yes, it's actually it's smaller than that. It's the smallest one they make because it has a 7.5. It's a 7.5 cubic footprint
Hmm.
for printing. So it's very small. It's like a
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
desktop.
Does it have the automatic multicolor thing going?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm waiting on that and see if I can get into some of the printing and see if it's me or if it's the machine. Because you said you had one also, right? Be
Yeah.
successful. Yeah.
Yeah, I use it all the time. It does great things. So I'll bring over a part in a minute and show you. But um, yeah, I liked the Creality Ender um, Ender 2, I think it is, or Ender 3, something like that. I don't remember now. I got two of them. A friend passed away and left me his. Um, so that's how I ended up with two. But
Okay.
um, I need a to build a shelf. We were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. Uh, we said all of these guys here with all these big CNC machines, and not one of them has a shelf on the wall to hold other stuff.
All right.
We can build shelves.
All right.
You know? Yeah. Um, so anyway, I would like a nice shelf, put both of the printers up there, and whenever I want to do an RC plane, um, 3D printed RC plane or whatever, I could have one working on the fuselage and the other working on the wing, or just working
Right.
on multiple parts, so it doesn't take as long to print.
Yeah, that would be nice to have.
Yeah, yeah. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll go to grab one of the prints and bring it over.
All right, excellent. Myron, I haven't talked to you in a minute. How you been, man?
Man, I've been busy. I've been busy since Christmas. I haven't had a time to do anything, man.
That's
So
good.
I haven't done whole lot of CNC work. I've been doing a lot of traditional stuff, and my wife and I opened up a promotional business. So we started off making hats and a few other different things, and that's just kind of snowballed into 6 days a week for me for the last few weeks, anyway. But we've been doing good. How about you?
Hey, I'm hanging enough. Still, working and been staying
I see
busy.
that. I see that shop out all cleaned up back there, man. Looks good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I like my little shop by. Come
Yeah,
in here.
man.
Sometimes I don't want to be outside. I can just come in here and machine something. And
What are you
I
doing for dust collection?
hold on, let me move out the way. I got this little fiend.
That's
I got,
cool.
yeah, I got the fiend, and it's quiet too. It's not. Hold on. Let me see, you might can hear it. That's
Can't
it.
even hear it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's crazy, man.
And the suction is, man, the suction is fantastic.
That's
Uh,
awesome, man. That's cool.
yep, I just sit it right here. I sit it right there, and it's sitting right here on my. Let me see if you can see. So it sits right there on my little table.
That's awesome, man.
Yep. And then I got my upper log sitting right beside it. So I can machine something and throw it right in the laser and engrave it.
Yeah, I heard. I was listening on that new ATC. That thing looks like it's going to be pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I really am.
I bet you are. That's a game changer right there.
Oh yeah.
That's that's the worst part of CNCing for me is changing out bits.
Changing out bits. Yeah.
You know, so that's cool.
You never think you need one until you do a project that requires, 3 tools and you got to print all 50 of them, and you think you be kicking yourself in the butt like, dang it, I should have bought one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but I find that I basically use probably there's probably 5 tools that I use all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And man, would it be nice for that,
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your controller? What controller do you have?
I don't know. I just got that hobby machine.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
don't know if it's going to work off that or not. I'm getting ready to get another controller for it. I have nothing but problems with this controller. The thing keeps pausing halfway into jobs. It'll start pausing. Maybe 40 minutes into a job, it'll pause, and then and then 20, and then next time it might be 20 seconds and it pauses. But I got to sit and babysit the thing to do a job, and it's no good, man. So
Are
I
you
don't know
using
what I'm
Mach
going
3?
to get for it. Huh?
Are you using Mach 3? Mach
No,
3?
no,
Okay, no,
no.
okay, then
It's a
it's not
cheap
it.
it's a cheap Gerbil controller.
Oh.
So I don't know what I'm going to do if I'm going to, buy a. I really want to kind of wait and just kind of suffer with what I've got until I can afford a nice industrial machine, and then just do that, rather than putting a Masso controller on a $2,000 machine doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? So I, I don't know what I'm going to do if I everything else slows down. I can get back on the CNC, then I'll probably really pull the plug and do something. I just haven't. I've been doing a bunch of woodworking, but it's been all traditional. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm just using table saw and table saw, planer, joiner, miter saw, and bandsaw, basically.
Hmm.
Pick
So
you up one of them little cheap offline controllers.
I know you sent me a link to it already. You did months ago.
Yeah,
You sent me a link. It was like $350.
yeah.
I might just go ahead and do that just to see if that'll solve the problem. I mean, I've grounded the living heck out of this thing. You know what I mean? I got grounds. Everything's grounded now. I've got a dedicated ground bar that everything runs to. I've even run it outside to a ground bar outside. So, you know what I mean? I'm like real earth grounded.
Right.
So I'm
Sometimes
not
might
thinking
just be the
static.
controller. Yeah. Sometimes just the controller. Some controllers are just not made well. I've done that. I've had that.
Yeah, yeah. And I was just brand new. Back.
Right.
It's only been about a year for me. So, you live and learn. You buy stuff you shouldn't buy, and then sometimes you're lucky and you get the stuff you should have gotten in the first place. But that wasn't one of them for me.
Mhm.
So good seeing y'all.
You too.
Kelly had the 3D printed parts.
Oh.
Uh,
Yeah.
let me switch my view to speaker view. Doesn't seem to be showing me, but it's showing you.
Oh, I see it. I can see you. I see it.
Let's see.
I got a question for you 3D printer guys. When you're printing it, what would someone charge me to print something that's about 3 inches by 2 inches by about maybe a little over a half an inch thick, maybe 5/8, maybe even 3/4 thick? What would something like that cost to print?
Is there any layout involved in it? You have the file ready to go?
Yeah, I'd have a file ready to go. What I'm doing is they're 3 inches, they're approximately 3.5 by 2.5, 3 inches by 2 inches, right in there. What I'm using them for is I want to make some blocks, and I want to use some really tough material, and I'm going to emboss leather with them. So what I would do is I would stick a piece of leather, a wet leather, on top of it, and then I would put it in my small press, and I'd press that leather down onto that 3D printed block, and whatever design I have on the block, negative, will give me my embossing on my leather. That's what I'm trying to do.
It'll probably just break the plastic unless
But
unless it's printed really with a lot of infill, and
Yeah.
you got to
That's
pick the right plastic.
They probably want to do that in nylon or something with, like you
Yeah.
said, a lot of infill.
Yeah. I mean, this is PLA, the wrong material to do something like that. This is designed for light. This is regular PLA, and this piece here is the lightweight stuff, and it's like 1/10 of the weight of this thing.
Oh,
It feels, for this big thing, because it's big hollow
right.
design.
what
That's
what uh what cowling is that, Bill?
Um, Pantera. This is parts for the Pantera. It's
Okay.
a um, experimental airplane. I think it might be as many as a 5-seater, but I think anyway, it's huge canopy. I don't have all the right parts to show you what it looks like together. There's this section missing in between here that
Is that
didn't
is that an aerobatic plane?
um it is more of a commuter plane, a light plane, regular,
Gotcha.
but it's very fuel efficient. This is a model of the full size one. There's a full size plane out there. But it's probably $1 million plane or something crazy like that. I don't know. I know it's gorgeous, but that's about it. Let's see if I can find the link to that. Um, let's see.
The Wright brothers wish they had a 3D printer.
Yeah. Could you imagine Tesla? Nikola Tesla with one?
Yeah. Oh my
Ah.
God. Yeah, that would be that would be cool.
Yeah. Here we go. I found it.
Edison probably would have stolen it off of him.
Yeah.
No,
He would have
probably
tried
not.
anyway.
Yeah.
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 Or he would have tried to get George Westinghouse to do it for him.
Right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
So, all right, I'm going to share the screen again. I know we've drifted off into in no man's land again here, but this is a company called Eclipson, and they make planes. This is the Panthera V2.
Okay.
This is what it looks like.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, the real plane is just so stinking gorgeous. There's
Wow.
yeah.
That is wicked cool looking.
Yeah, the real one has retracts and just gorgeous.
That's crazy how the tail end of that thing swoops down like that. That's kind of a unique design.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is well, I don't know what you can see from me, but this is the part from about the back half of the back third of the the windshield here, going
Okay.
down to about here. Yeah, and these guys they do a really great job of designing up planes.
That's pretty cool. What are you
Yeah.
doing? What are you putting for a motor on your model?
Um, yeah, sure. Ask me. It's the guys from Flight Test. They're a bunch of YouTubers. They have a standard motor package that you can use for this thing. And
I've
here we
been out
go.
of that. I've been out of that for a long time. I used to use pretty much just OS motors.
Yeah, there it was nice with OS because they had um a standard size comparison from electric to glow, but
Oh, this is all electric.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Very
So
cool.
this is a 1200 kV motor, 1250 kV, 2212. It's pretty small. It's pretty small.
How much flight time do you get out of electric motor like that?
Depends on the type of flying you're doing and the battery size you put in. You're probably doing a 5 to 10 minute flight on this.
That's cool. That's real
Yeah.
cool.
Anyway, it's just cool stuff. But you spend maybe $30 to buy a set of plans. There's a YouTube video of this thing flying. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's nice.
So you see, it's not really a small plane when it's done. So I got somebody saying, he's he missed missed coming on today, and I'm going to tell him to come on anyway.
Yeah, that's Yeah, I used to love radio control airplanes.
Hmm.
I have one in my closet. I haven't even put together yet. I've had it for 2 years, just sitting in my closet.
Yeah. So
It takes a lot of time though. You have to really have time uh to fool with them.
Yeah, you do it. You
yeah,
almost have to
you
have a
can tell I
dedicated.
love them.
You got to
Yeah,
have a dedicated space for them too. You know. I mean,
right.
you don't have to, but it sure is nice.
Hmm.
You know,
That's RC is what got me into this to start with. I mean, I'm making stuff like these parts, everything. That's I was making kits for sale, and I wanted a way to make them faster because I was using bandsaw and templates and iron each stack of parts out, and that was taking forever. And so I got some parts laser cut, but I wanted to do some parts with the CNC router, and then I went on the journey to try and find out how to get one, how to build it. Had to build it. Kurt was around during those early days. Uh, yeah, it was a challenge to find good information, and we were fortunate. So,
Yeah, that's nice.
yeah,
Yeah,
I got a lot of respect. I got a lot of respect for you guys that have been around a while trying to figure this stuff out when there wasn't the the internet the way it is now with all the information out there. You guys really had to work through stuff and think a lot more than we do now.
mhm. It was fun. It was just plain fun. Um, I got to know Kurt through building Joe CNC router from Joe CNC Forum, and you know I've got friendships now. I mean, they're guys I've never actually met in person, but I've been, I talk to them like they're brothers.
hmm
It's just, we're going through the same thing. We're learning the same
yeah.
stuff and everything. Um, I'll give you an example of this. I went to Disney a few years ago when my son, who's now 24, was 9.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was a couple of years ago.
just a couple of years ago. All right, went down on a trip down to Disney, and I had just started the CNC Router Tips group around that time, whatever. And I typed in a message and I said, "Hey, I'm going to Orlando. Are there any CNC guys down there? I've got some time between, all the different things we're doing. Maybe we could meet." And Mike Cancarelli is one of the guys who responded, and there's another guy who responded, and we all went to a bowling alley in downtown Disney or whatever you call it. There's the area where they actually had restaurants and stuff that you could eat without paying through the nose for for all the food and everything. Anyway, we went to this bowling alley. We met, and Mike is the guy who wrote Smart Screens for Mach 3. All right, so he's one of the few guys that I've met in person. Kurt and Dave in Antwerp drove down from Michigan to meet me in Chicago when I was at a podcasting conference, and to hang out. So anyway, I mentioned I wanted to go to Houston to see SpaceX a couple weeks ago. You guys probably been following that, but um, Mike pops up the other day and says, "Hey, Bill, are you taking anybody with you when you're going?" I says, "Nah, nobody really interested in it in my family, whatever." He says, "You like some company?"
Oh, nice.
So so we're going down to SpaceX in a couple of weeks, a little more than a couple of weeks, but yeah. And we're gonna stop. And then another member who I've never met, but who I chatted with, comes back and says, "Hey, if you're flying into Houston, I used to work at NASA, the Johnson Space Center, and my friends are still there." He says, "You mind if I drop your name to him and see, if you're going there, maybe he can uh, show you around some things."
Excellent.
And they set that up. So this is going to be a heck of a trip. I'm
Yeah, that's
we're
great.
very excited about it. But all because of the CNC and just
All right.
posting out there at one point that I wanted to go. So really cool stuff. It's great community. Mhm. I hope to meet more of you guys someday.
Yeah, my friend Gary, I met Gary through Facebook, Gary Penwright, and I think I met him through the laser group. Um, and he had contacted me, and we started talking, and then he ended up buying himself a universal laser, and he contacted me, and I started teaching him how to do stuff, uh, live tutorials and stuff like that, learn how to work through Corel. At that time, I had a hobby machine, and he started doing these light bases, the LED bases, and Gary. When I told him I wanted to get into it, but I couldn't mill out, I couldn't do them like he was doing them. He had the what did he have? He had the shark, and which was more rigid than my machine. And Gary actually drove down from Buffalo, New York, with over 100 LED bases and brought them to my house.
Wow.
Yeah, and we've been friends ever since. It's probably been probably about 10 years now. So he comes down now he comes down every year from Buffalo, New York. He was here 2 weeks ago. He he bought his 35-foot RV, um, going down to Inverness, and I told him you can come here and stay. Park the RV right in my yard, and we stayed up. I took a couple of days off, and we just talked CNC until he just say I'm gonna go down to Inverness, and then so some weekends he'll come up here and we just spend time together. We've been doing that now for like the last 10 years. Yeah, so CNC does put you in a circle.
That's the dude you built the Buffalo sign with last
Yes,
year.
sure it is. Yep.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
Yeah, he comes down and we'll do a project. We'll do a project on all the machines. So next time when he come up for the weekend, we'll probably do something on the shop bot. So every time
Awesome.
you come up, we'll do something, whether it's on the laser or on the big machine or something. We'll do something. Yeah.
I have a friend from before high school who lives in South Carolina now, and I usually go the first couple of weeks in March down to visit him. And his neighbor, this guy Don, has built two full-size two-seat wooden airplanes that he has in a hangar, and he flies them all the time. And we usually take about 3 or 4 days when I'm down there. We go through his yearly annual maintenance, the whole thing to, just checking everything on the whole plane. And he's built both of these planes, the whole thing's all by himself. They're called Pete and Paul.
Yes.
The name of the plane, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. It's pretty amazing what, that he's done this like all by himself. It's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, I enjoy doing stuff like that. Most of the time when I travel, I do the same thing. I post in a group that I'm in a location, and somebody want to invite me to the shop. I go there and you know offer some tips or see what they're doing, and I met Troy like that. Me and Troy became good friends. I go to Atlanta, and me and Troy became acquainted. And every time I go to Atlanta, I go pay him a visit. So it's amazing. I really want to do it more often. Then COVID, once COVID, it kind of killed everything. But normally, I just want to try to find guys within, I don't know, within a particular radius, and just kind of, because sometimes I be everywhere, and just find, people that do CNC and just visit,
Mhm.
talk to them, share some knowledge, and it's just fun. I enjoy seeing what other people are doing with their,
Barry's here.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, it's I can't explain how cool it is to, actually get to see somebody shop, and, talk to them. They know your language, they know what you're talking about, you're sharing the same thing. It's really pretty cool. Jim Pinson in Atlanta area, went down there, met him, tried to I met Dave Gatton and Mark Lindsay at a woodworking show in Atlanta that same one they're having this weekend, a few years ago. Um,
Oh,
Pretty cool.
they having a show this weekend?
Yeah.
Where?
In Atlanta at the or just outside of Atlanta.
Oh, is that the one for that dog it for
We'll try and
what
find
like
it.
the doing like podcasts and stuff like that? What they call it?
Yeah, with the content creators.
Yes, contact creators. Yes.
Yeah. Um, Atlanta. Yeah, that's the one. Joel, oh, sure. Now that I'm trying to think of the name. Um, he makes the Spartan knife holders. A few years ago, he had everybody out to his shop at the Atlanta after the Atlanta woodworking show, and there were I think Jimmy Duresta was there, Mark Lindsay, um, Laney Shaughnessy, uh, there were a lot of content creators. You would recognize them if you know.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I found the listing for that show. I'll share the screen and show it. There we go. The
Oh yeah.
Atlanta Woodworking Show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Went County Fairgrounds. It was a good show. It's smaller than the IWF though.
They used to have one in Tampa. I went. What was it? Like March. I remember Legacy came down there one time.
Mhm.
But I'm glad to see like these shows rebounding back.
No.
There are more and more now that's going on. We need one in Jacksonville. Jacksonville is a big city and it doesn't support. Um, they don't support anything like that. And I mean, we have like facilities to
Which
support.
Jacksonville are you in?
Florida.
I used to live there. I lived in Arlington for years.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. It's easy to put together a show, a meet and greet. I've done probably 15 of them here in Michigan.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, they're not difficult. And it just takes a little bit of time and you got to have a little venue, but most people will pay a little money and they'll also, like a couple times I had people bring goodies to pass, like a pot and luck, and we do it all day long and have a little lunch, and it was always a lot of fun.
That's great. Yeah, I would like to do something like that here. Because I messaged a guy yesterday about a CNC machine, and I didn't even realize that it was a lot of guys that's here that actually do CNC.
What
Uh,
part of town do you live in?
I'm in the Mandarin area.
Oh, Mandarin. Uh, yeah, you can find a local church or something, and they'll let you use their little meeting room for pennies. And sometimes these, like, I think Mandarin's even got their own little civic center. If you're a resident, you can rent it for just pennies,
Okay.
maybe $50 for the day, and you can have your meets and shows and people, and you can make it work. You can make a lot of fun with that.
I'm gonna look into it. That'll be interesting to do.
Yeah, it's not that difficult. You get goodies, you have some drinks, and you have somebody come and do some speaking, or you can do your own speaking.
Right.
You find a local guy who knows how to do some specialty painting or something. That's what I used to do, and we had a lot of fun doing that.
That'd be cool to do. Bill, do y'all have a rockler up there where you are?
The nearest rockler is in Buffalo.
Oh, okay.
That's actually Niagara Falls. That's like saying what's in Yonkers instead of Queens. But yeah, it's close. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's but that's 4 hours from here, 3-4 hours from here. So needless, I've never been.
They do a lot of those uh like seminars and projects at the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Woodcraft in Rochester. That's an hour and a half from here. I've been there several times.
Okay.
But there's no rockler there. Welcome, Barry. You've been missing us.
Sorry, I had to turn mute back off. Yeah, I apologize. Hectic life.
Well, you finally made it. I'm glad.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably lurk a little bit.
You're gonna lurk, you say?
Yeah, I'll lurk and try to learn from all y'all.
Yeah. Well, tell us about yourself before you start lurking.
Not much to tell. Retired, full-time caregiver for my wife. She's got pretty significant dementia. I have a 2,000 square foot shop right outside. Shop Saver Pro 408. I heard somebody talking about a ShopBot. I have a ShopBot desktop.
Oh, yeah.
I have Acer and A-Tour, O-Tour lasers. I have Crossfire plasma and horizontal vertical grizzly bill that I dream of turning into a CNC machine, but other than that, that's about it.
Yeah, we were chatting the other day because you missed the meeting, and I said, well, I'm not doing anything. So we chatted.
Well, maybe if you decide to drive up from Houston, after seeing NASA, you can stop in.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I wish Texas were smaller. Oh my gosh. Everything we're looking at is like 4 or 5 hours this way, an hour and a half that way, But yeah.
It's all relative. I lived in Alaska for 18 years, so it wasn't anything to take a 7-hour trip to go somewhere.
Yeah. So
what part of Texas you in?
Right smack in the middle.
Oh.
If you look it up, it's a little town called Rumley, Texas.
Rumley, Texas.
We don't even merit a post office. As a matter of fact, my address is not Rumley. If you're familiar with Fort Hood, we're just outside of Fort Hood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Between Austin and Waco.
Yeah,
I used to run mail out of Texas every week.
You do what now?
I used to run mail out to Texas every week. I used to leave on Thursday and I come back Saturday morning. Like an 18-hour run.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
When you said run something, I'm envisioning blue and red lights behind you, or
oh no. This I used to run bulk mail, so I used to go to the
oh, gotcha.
Yeah, to the mail distribution centers. Yeah.
So, Mr. Boatwright, you actually have a ShopBot desktop?
Yes, that's it right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2418. Yep, they got the little 2418.
Yeah, same machine I have. I
Yeah.
love that machine. I've had it for 15 years.
Oh wow. Yeah. I just bought that one maybe about 2 months, maybe
Oh, nice.
2 months ago.
You're gonna love it. That rigid frame does unbelievable work.
I like it. I really do. I was very amazed. I'm really amazed at the software, the actual controller, how simplistic it is, and
Yeah.
how much ShopBot actually put into their controller. Setting up your scoreboard in it. I really like it. It's a really nice machine, and they
Yeah, I love mine.
fantastic. When I told them that I bought a used ShopBot and I wanted parts for it and stuff like that, it was right on it. Yeah.
You're gonna have a fun time replacing the linear rails in it. The rails are pretty fun to replace when they go bad.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But that's the most expensive operating cost you're gonna have is replacing the rails.
The rails. Okay.
Yeah. I suggest buying some so you have them on hand.
Okay.
It'll
All right.
take a year or two before they go out, but they go out pretty regularly.
Okay. I would. So where is it a place that you specifically buy them from, or you get them from?
Yeah, I call ShopBot.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I've had it 15 years, and I want to say the Z axis finally went out, but I've replaced the X and the Y axis several times.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah.
The
Rail.
bearing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great machine. I enjoy using it.
Now I like my shop saver though. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I bet that's a pretty big machine. You said you had a Pro 408?
Yeah.
Yeah. ATC?
Yes. Five place ATC.
Okay. That's a nice machine there.
I'm pretty happy with it.
Vacuum table?
Pardon?
You have a vacuum table also?
Yes.
What kind of vacuum pumps you use on that one?
The F4.
The F4. Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember what they're called. Basically, since I'm not commercial, I had to stay with 240 volt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm cheap, so I bought the cheapest vacuum I could.
That one is not cheap. That one is
relative.
Right. It's cheaper than the expensive ones.
Right. I didn't buy the phenolic table or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I don't have that beautiful Haas mill that Mr. Griggs has. So.
Oh.
The good part about those vacuum pumps is in the winter you don't have to run the heater.
You're right about that. You're definitely right about that. I know mine get hot quick. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So what kind of work do you do on your shop saver?
Not as much as I'd like, but I'll be honest with you. What kind of work I don't do is probably a better question. I kind of go by Angel and the Bear on Facebook for a lot of my stuff, but I don't get to post everything.
Yeah, some beautiful work on there.
Well, for instance, I just finished. I'm doing a live edge table, but I'm doing it a little bit different than traditional live edge.
Right.
I'm doing cookies in the center and then live edge along all four sides. So nothing romantic, but I milled down all my cedar posts for the rails on the ShopBot. And then other than that, I do big signs. I did all my cabinetry. Here, it's not painted. I built my own house, so here I'll turn off so I did my island.
Nice.
I did all my own cabinetry with it. Probably built that laser machine you see in the background here. Oh, excuse my dirty finger. So I do a little bit of a lot of things.
That's good. That's great. Yeah. Yeah, once you get a CNC machine, you find yourself doing all kind of stuff, and never the stuff that you intended to buy it for.
Yeah, I made
Yeah.
two swords for my two swords for the neighbor kids the other day.
Right. That's amazing. That's great.
Well, see, now you're not lurking.
Now,
No, I probably run my mouth more than I should.
You talked him right out of lurking, Bill.
There you go. See,
no,
nothing but CNC guys here. We all speak the language.
all right.
Nobody. There's not an ego in the house.
Well,
Everybody
I'm
knows a little bit that we don't know.
yeah, I'm a 330 pound, well, probably more, but 300 and something pound pocket protector geek. But the advantage of being a 300 and something pound pocket protector geek is not a lot of people want to call me geek.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's funny.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
that's what my wife called me. Geek.
Yeah, my wife, when she has her wits about her, she calls me a dork more than a geek.
Mm-hmm.
But she's allowed.
Yeah. Tell you.
Yep.
Well,
I will say one thing, Barry. I have a lot of, I don't even know you, but I have a lot of respect for you with your wife. My wife is going through that very bad with her mom and her aunt both, and it's an extremely difficult situation. And like I said, a lot of respect for you, and it's thank God for people like you that are there to take care of these people.
I appreciate it, but that's probably a whole nother chat group.
It is, no, it is, but I just,
and a long
you
one.
know,
Yeah.
yes, it is, but it's sometimes I think it's just, it's nice to know that there's other people out there that are, you know,
Mhm.
that know what you're going through, because until you've
Yeah.
been faced with it, you don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's an horrible
We went through
disease.
we went through it last year with my father-in-law. He
Yeah.
passed. Yeah, he
Yeah.
passed last year. But and you know the sad thing is watching it come on.
Yeah.
That was it was really hard to accept when because you be in denial. You don't know. You start learning more about it as you're dealing with it, but you're really in denial. You're like, no, this can't be. You know, it can't. And then you just see it, and it's really sad. We actually went to Atlanta to go get him, because you know, being up there and staying with my sister-in-law upstairs, and you know, he's downstairs. It was just too much for him, you know. So it was like, let's get him, let's bring him here. We have the room, you know. He's less likely to fall, you know.
Mhm.
And yeah, we watched him, and then just finally he just succumbed, you know. So I understand it, and like you say, it takes a lot. It really does. It takes a lot.
Yeah. We went through it with my mom. My sister moved in, moved my mom in and took care of her for a while, but then it got to the point where she had to put her in the nursing home, and it was just my mom was an escape artist. That's so we changed the way that the door locked and everything to make it more complicated, but she'd figure it out, and then she'd go wandering.
Yeah.
And so it just wasn't conducive, and it was sad because um during the normal phase of her life she was so amazing to speak with and everything, and then she just went more and more inside of herself. Yeah, it was a shame. It's hard to deal with.
There are times, and when we talk about dementia, most of us are talking about Alzheimer's because politically, and it's not even the majority of dementia is Alzheimer's. Deborah has what's called primary progressive aphasia. So it's all cognitive in nature and language.
Hmm.
So she has no language skill anymore. She will know sometimes that I'm talking about her, but she doesn't really understand what I say. But she still laughs at my jokes. So I don't know. I guess we're doing okay.
Mhm.
That's another language.
Yeah, I give her a lap dance. She thinks it's amusing. So, you know.
Keep it G, guys. Keep it G.
Yeah. So, Mr. Kirk, Mr. Kirk, I take it you're in your shop?
Oh, you're muted.
Oh, you muted. I like that.
Yeah, this is my garage shop. I have two shops. I have one at the house and one at the shop. I have
Nice.
a 1,000 square foot shop that I work out of.
Okay.
And this is what I do. I build teardrop campers.
That is
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I assist. We have 3-4 guys in the area. I started building mine, and of course they all say, "Well, I want to do that." So come on over, take a look. Of course, they're building better than mine are, so you know they copy it off mine and go, "Oh, I can do better." So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, they learned from your mistake.
Yeah.
Right? They look at my mistakes and they go, "Oh," and then and I've restarted mine about 5 times already. I tore some stuff out because it was old, and then I put some stuff in, and I just bought. I just took the old-fashioned lights out. I bought interior strip lights for the interior, LED strip lights. So I've got to take that out. I'll put this in. And a friend of mine said, "You better stop looking around at all this cool stuff because you'll never get done." And he's probably pretty close to being right. So I've stopped buying new stuff, and I'm just going to finish this up. And I want to get it done by Easter so I can go camping. And I want to travel the U.S. And my wife has got a job with the airline, so she's gone a week at a time, a lot. So I get to travel now. That's
Nice.
my plan.
Very cool.
But that's why we do it, right?
Is that hand cut or
Because
just CNC?
Excuse me?
Your teardrop campers, are they hand cut or they CNC?
Oh, CNC. There's no way. No, you don't. No. There's no way I'd cut that by hand with a CNC. No, I can cut a whole side in about 2 hours.
That's it. Okay.
And if you do it by hand, it'll take you 2-3 weeks.
Yeah. That's
You
my
stack the stuff up and you do your job flow, and you just
What did I get?
I've had- Hi,
Hello.
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 see, look, Deborah. See, you're on the TV.
hello.
Hello there.
Tell them hello. Tell them hello. Say hello.
Hello.
Who is it?
You
Just some strange guys that do all kinds of computer stuff like me.
Yeah.
gotta still where you gotta still where you gotta go. Oh no,
Yeah.
it is mine.
She doesn't understand.
Yeah.
You don't.
So a
need
couple
all
of weeks
good.
ago, a guy came by and he wanted me to cut his side panels for him in his roof. So I make a few bucks that way.
Nice.
Yeah. How many of you
So-
guys actually do this for a living or for money? As opposed to
Teardrops?
I used to. Then I downsized it to a hobby, and then I end up becoming a crane operator.
So Kurt, are those standard designs, or is that your own, each one your own design modified, or?
It's a 60/40. I saw some plans and I saw what I liked and didn't like, and I wanted it just a little bit longer because I'm 6 feet tall, and so I modified it just a little bit. And then the guy who's building one, he got some standard plans and he modified it to make it lower because he's got a little car, so he lowered his down, and I cut his panels for him. And then a few months ago, a guy wanted one. He wanted to hire one so he could stand up in it. So we cut his panels with using 4x4, 4x8 plywood up to be about 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
It's everybody's different, you know.
Yeah, that's cool. What do you use for chassis?
Oh, I make a home build. You build a trailer. You
Okay.
buy an axle at the axle shop for about $150. Then you
Okay.
weld up a 2x2 11 gauge frame, and
Right. Okay.
And
And
then-
then just bolt everything to that.
yeah, but I want to keep it around no more than 1,100 pounds. I want to keep it under 1,000 pounds. So
Is that one in the background?
Oh, God, you scared
yeah,
me.
that's it. Yeah, that's one. Yeah.
Any possibility you wanted to show it off?
No,
Well, okay. I don't know what you can see, but
you see this?
Yeah.
1,
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. Okay.
Why?
Well, because they're talking.
this is a Harley Davidson.
Okay, wait, no.
Oh, that's not okay.
Harley Davidson. Fix up the lights because I have ports on it. So I put some different lights on it. So the lights all over it. I bought some doors. These are teardrop camper doors. Then let's see here. This is what the galley looks like. This is a little shelf we built, and got places in there. Got a place for an air conditioner and place down here for a refrigerator down below. And then the sides are laminated with fiberglass. And I have the outside is going to be it's maple plywood, beautiful.
Hmm.
And then the inside, let's see here. This is the ports for the wiring. I got a power controller for the lights, and I have reading lights. And the interior is maple walnut.
Let's
Then this is the interior shelving, so that I can and there's a control panel here with switches, and then there's the front, and then there's the vent, the roof, the air vent. You
Okay.
have to vent that because you'll suffocate yourself. And there's the joint for you get 4x8 panels, 4x10 panels, and you gotta have a joint. I'll put a joint in there. And there's a port here for a window. We have shades, privacy shades. And let's see here. There's the Harley Davidson fenders again,
That's
lights
nice.
all over it. So let's see, on the outside, we're gonna above the main window, we're gonna have exterior lights, amber, so you can camp at night. And then this is the window frame. There's the window frame.
Very nice.
Let's
I like
see.
that. That is nice.
And up inside here, we got this 2-inch hole for insulation. I don't know if you can see it or not. And then, I got this so I can access and put my wiring in. This is some 6-strand 14-gauge wire. Goes from the front power port. Is going back to the galley so that I can run a refrigerator and an air conditioner. And I have a here somewhere. I have an induction stove to cook on. We're not going to use any flame inside. And so we want to have a flameless heating system or cooking system. Let's see here. And then there's some LED strip lights. We're gonna use this for something in there somewhere. There's another project I started because I was using regular old incandescent lights. And then I decided not to use them. Went to LED because
Right.
power consumption. And then these are the pistons for the lift gate in the back, holding the lift gate open. Then let's see. This is one of my inverters. I don't know if I'm going to use that one or the other power inverter. And then, of course, this key is long bar here. That's going to be used to extend out the back of the camper so I can put my bicycle with a bike frame. Let me show you the hatch because the hatch is at my main shop. So, is there anything else I can show you? I don't know what else I
You
can
said
show you.
that bar was for a bicycle?
Yeah, the bar.
Yeah. Nice.
That's
Very nice.
that's super impressive, and that's all CNC parts to put it
Right,
together.
everything's CNC. Yeah, everything's put on a CNC.
Wow,
Very cool.
Yeah.
very
That's
very cool.
very impressive. I like that. That's nice.
Once I got started in it, some people saw it from all over the state and they wanted me to cut their frames. And so every 3-4 weeks, I'd get a job of, $300 or $400 to cut the frames. And there's about 10 of them doing it now.
Wow. Fellas, I'm out to go. I will catch y'all next week.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Nice meeting Barry, Mike, Kurt.
Nice to meet you too.
Have a good week, Tally.
You too. Hopefully see y'all again. And
Stay
y'all be-
safe out there on the trains.
All right. Okay. See you, Mari. I'll take it easy. All right. Bye.
See you later, man. Take care.
All right. You too.
You're already at 6, I think.
Sorry, guys, if I keep getting some running commentary. God, I keep messing up. I'm actually a retired IT guy, but I can't operate my phone. Sorry.
I'll tell you, this is just fine. We're
All good.
all good. Yeah. Wow.
I'm
I
a
don't know.
retired guy too.
Yeah.
I'm retired too. So
I think
I
we
had
all
a
are.
martial arts school. Yeah. Farts.
That's
Yeah.
what they tell me.
Got my husband here to tell me that
Yeah.
he is his long.
Sorry. I'll mute this.
Yeah. So that's hard to top that, I'll tell you. That
That's pretty cool.
awesome. Tour of the trailer. Every time I see it, he's further along. But I think Kurt is building it kind of the way he built the router. As you're building it, you find so many other cool accessories that you have. You're buying things a couple times. I've probably got, in fact, I know I have 2 or 3 different router spindles from when I was building mine, and there was a whole bunch of other things. You just keep buying better.
Yeah, I got a router with a VFD in my basement shop that I got for my machine, and I never installed it. And I think I'm going to put it up for sale because it's just sitting here.
Water
And,
cooled or air cooled?
let me look, make sure I don't tell a lie.
Yeah, well, it's like any project, you start it, and especially like something like that, like the camper or something, and you see something and you're like, oh, I gotta have that in there, and I gotta have that in there, and I gotta have that in there. I'm sure it's the same thing. Yeah,
Mhm.
if you're building a piece of equipment, whatever. You never know. It's like my wife says to me every day, you keep buying stuff. I said, yep, that's what I do best. I keep buying stuff.
Hmm.
Water cooled.
That's where you hope that she doesn't actually believe what you paid for it, because if you leave, she's going to sell everything for a lot less than what you paid for it.
Yeah.
She doesn't ask. That's cool. Kurt, yeah, looks like water cooled.
Yeah, it's like
plastic tubing in his hand.
2.2 kilowatt, I think. Yeah.
Muck. Sorry, oh, no, you better-
You're muted, Kurt.
There, can you hear me now?
There you
Yep.
go.
Okay, this is my stained glass shop. I'm gonna sell them. I'm gonna eliminate it here in the next few weeks. And,
Oh, you gotta help her.
Oh,
excuse me?
I said you gotta help her.
Yeah, that's my kitty. He's got to inspect everything.
yeah, the leopard cat, right?
Terrorist.
Yeah.
Terrorist.
So I'm gonna sell that spindle. I'm gonna sell this stained glass shop and clean it out. I got so many computers here, I gotta start moving them out. Jeez. And my wife's she says she's gotta throw my stuff in the trash.
What's the address?
What's trash day?
Yeah.
I'm serious. Look, I got stacks and stacks of computers. Stacks and stacks of computers and stuff around. It's all gonna go eventually.
Mm. Yeah,
I'm
this
just a CNC guy.
yeah, I needed to eliminate a few things.
Yep. The problem is when you eliminate some of the stuff you got, then you make more space for new stuff.
Well, that's the idea.
Yep.
Well,
I find
actually,
if I
actually,
eliminate anything, I needed it just after I eliminated it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. 5 years ago, we downsized we had a pretty
Are you
successful
making me?
business going. I didn't have time to do anything, so we moved into a condo and got rid of most of the stuff other than what I had at the business. And then
wow.
then we sold the business and we my wife wanted to move, so I didn't want to move. And she found the house and it just happened to have a wonderful 2-story shop out back, which convinced me to do that. So we remodeled the house, remodeled the shop, and geez, now I've had to buy all that stuff all over again to fill up the shop. So anyway, it's all good. It's all fun.
Well, it is what it is.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
I've eliminated probably a third of my stuff already, and the rest of it's going to go. We want to move down to Fort Worth, where my son is working at Lockheed Martin.
Yep,
That's where she
where
wants.
my dad retired from Lockheed Martin.
Oh, my son's a systems engineer for the F-35 fighter at Lockheed.
Cool.
Nice.
And if I'm not mistaken, it was the
Thunderbirds.
Thunderbirds. Yeah,
Yeah.
blue for them.
Awesome.
Yep, he was a Thunderbird. And my other son's in Japan, working for the Air Force. He's a classical and jazz musician, jazz soloist for the Air Force.
Oh, wow.
Yep, so he's making about 65 grand a year, doing what he loves to do.
There you go. Yeah, my
Kurt,
dad was he was one of their top contract negotiators that negotiated the contracts with the military.
Mason world.
And that's about all I know, because the rest of the stuff he used to say, I can't tell you, I'd have to kill you.
And he'd probably be correct.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have.
Yeah.
My
Wow.
son works from home and I went to visit him in Fort Worth last October. And when his door was closed, we were not allowed in there. He said, if you come in here while I'm working, you're going to have an investigation. So don't come in here. Okay.
Somehow that doesn't sound like fun.
No, he meant it. It was not, they weren't joking. And,
I mean, I can remember, my dad's passed now, but a long time ago, but I can remember when I was younger and he would fly like to Australia to these contracts to do whatever he was doing, and would have, basically a briefcase handcuffed to him and what was probably something like a sky marshal escorting him on the plane to wherever he was going and back again.
yeah, I remember those days. I did a few little things in the past. So
You're gonna get on here.
Did you any of you guys use Fusion?
I have in the past, but I hated it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then I won't share what I was gonna share.
I
Go ahead and
just,
share.
I just found it too, I don't know, overwhelming for me.
Yeah, there is that, and this was kind of one of those overwhelming things. So I was doing the beehives, right? But the guy has more than one size beehive. And so I wanted to set it up so that when he wanted to, he could just change a parameter and it would resize the beehive to match what he wanted to cut. And I didn't know if most people knew where that function was in Fusion, but I'm going to share the screen for just a second to show you. This is a portion of the design that I'm working on.
Didn't
And
they call that like parametric modeling or something?
yep.
Yeah.
So under sure, of course it's right where this bar is that has the there we go. There's this modify drop down, and I don't know if you see sharing screen across the top or whether you can see that menu, but you click this menu and it drops down, and all the way on the bottom is this change parameters. It's got an FX, that means formula on it. Click that, and this window opens up. All of these parameters I created ahead of time. So like this is the base front width, base front height, the whole center height, the whole spacing, all that. I set that up as a parameter, naming variables as I went so that I could reference them. And if I wanted to change, like right now, you can see this drawing here. And this width is 36¼ right now. But if I double click on this and enter a new value, 32. Wait a minute before I do that. Make sure I got the number somewhere else. But if I change it to 32, it should, when I hit enter, update the drawing and anything that was constrained by it.
With that,
Yeah, it did most everything, but this front width was not related to the back width, so I'm gonna have to go in and change that. But it will do that. It will change. It changed a total of 3 parts because there's a part in the in the back here and a part in the front. And then there was that, it changed the parts automatically. And so I'm setting it up that way so that everything will change. When I get this fully constrained, any change I make will change the entire drawing. But I'm not quite there yet. So I wanted to change that back first. I look up what the dimension was. 36 3/4 it was originally. I go back into here and I can change it back to 36 3/4 and hit OK. And now it's back.
Cool.
The length. But anyway, that's a feature that most people don't bother using. And when they do use it, it can be really, really powerful. Let me see. Like I'm using it on this set of kitchen cabinets that I drew. And I can change the cabinets and it will automatically change the size of the cabinet units. In fact, these 3 different cabinets units are all from the same file. They're just different variations in size from changing the parameter. That's all. I wish that Vectric had this, but you can see there was a lot of different ones that I used and created. The cool part is once you create a dimension, if you want to use it for, like, say, that the width or the thickness of each of these parts is 3/4 inch or whatever, rather than typing 3/4 of an inch all over again, you define the plywood width once and you can just click equals. And from that point on, it's always that height. So anyway, just some stuff you can do in Fusion. Just thought I would mention that.
How much does Fusion run, or is it one of the, you have to get the subscription?
There's a free version of Fusion that you can use if you make less than, if you're not doing a business. For a common user, it's if you're making less than $1,000 or something like that with it. There's also a startup version where the number is 10,000, where you can use it for
how
free.
would they know how much you're making on it?
Honor system.
Oh,
The IRS sends them a 1099.
Yeah. But the real reality of it is I think it's about $300 or $400 a year, something like that, for Fusion if you were to buy it. I bought a 3-year subscription, so I really don't know anymore. I think it was like $1,200. That's why I say $300 or $400.
They can tell because you're online and they can watch.
Yeah.
so it's online only?
No,
it reports back.
You can use it offline or online. Usually, I'm usually using the desktop version of it, but periodically it goes out to
It still tells them how much you use that desktop, so they know how much time you've spent on it.
Right.
If you're
how many projects you've done.
Yeah, if you're a teacher, you can get the educational version, which is the full version, and there's no limit to that really, but they expect you to really use it in an educational setting. They don't really want you to do private stuff, and that's why I used to work at a college, and I got it as an educator, but then I bought my own afterwards, and I just didn't want to deal with it. So not inexpensive. It's not inexpensive, but it's not as crazy as it could be, because if you've ever priced Mastercam, you know that that's going to be probably a $10,000 purchase.
Yeah. Just for your information, I just bought a new Outback, 2023 Outback. It reports back all the time, everything. The Outback has 1,100 data points.
Mm-hmm.
the newer cars are sending everything back. So,
Yeah, and probably to the insurance companies.
Well, most of the new cars have the quote unquote black box. Part of the investigation is downloading that black box, and they can tell a lot about what happened when you had an accident.
yeah, we just busted a guy here. He was doing 91 miles per hour when he hit a police chief, or excuse me, a fire chief, and killed him. And before that, he was doing 120. He hit the brakes, got down to about 91 miles an hour when he hit. So they went to court, and he didn't even have a chance to have a court hearing because he saw the evidence and said, okay, that was it. He got 5 years for it. So, yep.
Yeah.
So the software is doing the same thing. Years ago, I was a software security guy with a couple big companies, and they were reporting back then, and now they're telling everything, total usage, key clicks, everything.
Yep.
Well,
Scary
I gotta go,
times.
guys. Thank you
Yeah,
for letting me be here.
Yeah, it's about that time.
Yeah. I gotta head out too.
It's close to 9 o'clock, and we usually try and end by then. So I guess
Bill,
we'll button it up.
are you around tomorrow morning at all?
I am.
Okay, I'll send you, I got a question I want to ask you that I don't know, it has nothing to do with this, so I want to keep it off of
Sure.
here and see if you know anything about this or not.
Not a problem.
Just looking, I'm looking to help somebody out, and I'm just looking for some direction. See you, Barry. Good to
Barry,
take
again,
care.
great
Good to
time
see you.
talking with you again.
Hopefully we'll see you again. All right, see ya.
Well, I'll try next time. I promise. All right, bye.
Bye.
If you'd like to join us next week at 7 p.m. Eastern time for the CNC Mixer, there's a link that we put in the Facebook message to let you know when one's coming. Just come on and join us. We'd love to have you. Have a great night, everyone.